the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. It's the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we talk to some of the participants in this Father's Day weekend extravaganza. It is vacation time, and Jeff has a feature on motorhomes under $10,000.
Yeah, baby.
My cup of tea, as long as it doesn't break down. Later, Konrad has this week's car clinic, and we'll also have the stories making automotive news headlines. Straight ahead on this edition of the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Konrad DeLong, we need more Jeff Zeke and the fabulous David Ainsley in the engineering booth. I'm Don Armstrong.
You're in a booth?
It's the engineering booth. I like that.
It's a booth.
That's a booth.
No, that's his hair. It's a buffet.
Bouffant.
Bouffant. That's right. A buffet is a place to eat in Louisiana.
That's it. Have you made any trips over to Louisiana lately?
Nope.
Haven't?
He's still got warrants out.
I just go close enough because I get into Orange so I can see Louisiana from there.
Can you? And you just got it. Has it got 10-foot pole marks
And
all
what
over
a
it over
sight
there?
It is. Oh, yeah.
Now watch out for the Gators.
The Gators, right. Well, while Mr. Mars lines up our next car guest, we kind of talked about it earlier, but nobody heard it. We were going to talk about your car clinic, and we're going to finish up your series on
Carbon
deposits.
And the various
Do we
kinds of
have
carbon
to?
deposits. Yes, Jeff, we have to. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's important.
Because carbon deposits can be oil.
Would you
can
like to be
fuel.
our next guest? Okay. Oh, is he the DeLorean owner?
Well, have him sit down.
yeah.
Let's talk with him.
Well, I think, Jeff, you've got somebody coming? Okay,
got somebody
so
coming.
after him, at the bottom of the hour, we'll well, I'm sorry you're a day late and $1 short.
This is Mr. Holt.
Get here
I
on
think we
time.
need to clear the schedule and
I do.
take care of Stan.
Is Sheila May going to show up? Huh? Okay.
Ooh, look at
She's
this.
all worn out. Anyway, that's a beautiful car. Does that look good there? That is a beautiful car. Yeah, so we're gonna talk to the guy here with the hot rod. You know, I know that it is a Model A, but it is a hot rod.
Oh yeah.
Model A.
Well, I want to say it's a 32 Highboy, but
It is a high boy.
Well, it
I'm
looks like
assuming
that.
it's glass,
Yeah.
but I don't want to make that
assumption.
just yet. You know, he'll tell us because I know glass is easier to find than steel.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what. Personally, I don't really care. I know that the steels are worth more, but I just like the look, the shape, the whole swagger of the car.
Oh,
so it makes no
completely agree.
difference to me whether it's steel or glass. And if glass is cheaper, I'll go that route. And I guess we're going to find out from him whether or not what kind of chassis it's got under it and all that. We're going to find out all of that. It's happening right now, as a matter of fact, as he is about to sit down. If we can get through the Happy Father's Day balloonage that we have out here.
Balloonage.
It is Father's Day weekend, you know. Are your kids going to do something nice for you?
I'm sure. They usually
I got some
do.
great Father's Day cards from my youngest out in Colorado. Really funny. I opened
What
them
did
this
Katie
morning.
send you?
Cute cards.
No money? No gifts?
No
No gifts?
No.
It's the other way around.
Yeah, I really don't like gifts. Don't give me gifts.
Austin sent gift cards to some foodie places here in town.
That's perfect for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Mars.
I have been looking for this gentleman. We have been looking for this gentleman for a couple of years.
No way.
Yes, this
There he is.
the Bruce Burroughs, Bruce's Hot Rod Shop.
Okay.
If you think
Oh,
back
my
a couple
God.
of years ago, we talked to Mrs. Bruce's Hot Rod Shop.
Right.
Now, this is the Bruce from Bruce's Hot Rod Shop. And that is his car.
Hi, Bruce.
Howdy. How you doing?
It's it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for
Pull this up a little
stop.
tighter.
Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
There you go.
So the first question is it glass or steel?
It's original 1932 Roadster body.
Oh, wow.
So it's a
90
steel-
years old this year.
Steel body. Well, you know, it's perfect. It is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I know from being in hot rodding as many years as I have, There's a lot of work that's gone into that car.
Yes, sir.
How about the chassis?
The chassis, it's a reproduction rails, and then my son, Danny, which is Bruce Jr., built the chassis on the car.
So it's got a custom chassis on it.
Stock American stamping rails,
Yeah.
but all the cross members and all that stuff
He
that
fixed
we
it
did
just
here.
for that. Now, okay, so I've got to ask, what's under the hood?
It's got a ZZ430
Okay.
Chevrolet
Crate motor,
crate motor.
kind of a GM Performance Parts.
Yes, sir.
Did you get it from Scoggins and Dickey?
Yes, sir.
And they are the place to order that kind of stuff from.
Yeah.
Why? Why is it?
Because they generally have it in stock. They usually have a pretty fair price on it, and they buy by the train load from General Motors.
Scoggins and Dickey, they
Lubbock.
huh?
Out of
Lubbock,
Lubbock.
Texas.
Yeah. Huh?
They're
Lubbock.
out of Lubbock.
Lubbock,
Texas.
Texas.
And they were big into drag racing at one time, if I'm not mistaken. That they built drag racing engines and sponsored cars and all of
Yeah, I
that back
remember
in the day.
that. Yeah, I remember that.
Way back. You're too young to know. Just go ahead.
No, I'm not too young to know.
You're looking at me looking like I'm nuts. Well, I am nuts, so
Yeah,
that's
I'll be 79 in September.
okay. Yeah.
So what transmission you have behind it?
It's got a TKO, Tremec TKO 600,
Okay.
5-speed. And it's got a magnesium halibut quick changer in under it.
Oh, wow.
So, have you lit up those back tires?
Yeah, a little bit sometimes.
Oh, please.
Statute of limitations hasn't expired
Yeah.
yet.
You know, and I like the old-looking slicks you got on the back.
Well, they're actually dirt tracks, but yeah.
Is that what they are?
Yeah, they're Hoosier dirt tracks. Uh-huh.
Well, it looks really good from the
It
side.
does.
Yeah.
I was telling him that's what I want when I grow up.
Yeah.
You just keep on wanting.
I
Just neither you nor
gonna
I
want
nor
one
any of us.
hand.
Yeah, exactly.
See which one fills up first.
And it's a cabriolet.
No, it's a Roadster.
It's a roadster. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's got a top for it, which is what really makes it nice.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Well,
And whose front axle is that?
It's SoCal.
Okay.
SoCal
Well,
front.
probably the people who are best at building that front
Yeah,
axle.
we use a SoCal axle and spring. Danny built all the hairpins for the car, and tie rod and drag link and all that stuff we built at our shop. But I used the SoCal axle because I wanted that particular. It's a
That look.
47-inch axle front.
are you still working?
I hang around the shop. I'm not, I've got several projects I'm working on right now for myself, but not doing a whole lot of work. But yes,
So you've kind of turned everything over to your son?
yes.
Yeah.
And where is the shop?
It's in Spring, off of Klein Cemetery Road and TC Jester. Spring Cypress and TC Jester.
Is the shop busy?
We are real busy. Probably busier than we've ever been.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Are you surprised at that?
Yes, I am.
Why?
I don't know. I lost my wife in November,
I'm sorry to hear that.
and it just seems like it's blossomed since
Yeah.
then. But yeah, we're not doing the work that I prefer, but we're doing a lot of repair work, especially on C10s and stuff like that.
Okay.
Doing a lot of that, but I prefer the 32 Fords myself.
Actually
personally.
building this kind of vehicle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because your son has got another one out there, but his is a coupe, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have in our family 17 32 Fords.
Is it some sort of an addiction going on?
It is an addiction.
Are they all steel?
They're all steel.
Wow.
What do you think about fiberglass reproduction bodies?
I think you can probably have more fun in a fiberglass car than you'll ever have in anything else.
Why do you say that?
Because most of the time you're not worried about, getting it tore up or whatever. In 2015, sorry, I rolled that Roadster right there.
You rolled it.
Yes, sir. Coming out of Centerville, I had been to a car show in Granbury, and we were coming back, and I had a right front tire explode on it, and that's the elevated area there. And I went down that incline at about 70 miles an hour at about a 45-degree angle, and it went down and hooked, and when it did, it went up in there.
With you in
pivoted
it.
With my in it. Pivoted on the quarter panels in the top and made a 360 and landed back on the tires. And shoved me down in the seat, hurt my back, broke my collarbone. But the good news is when I got they got me in the ambulance, they said, well, you passed out, didn't you? I said, no, I didn't pass out. I remember every bit of it because I remember this is not going to be good going down that hill like that. But they got me in the ambulance and started doing an EKG on me. And guy says, has anybody ever told you that you need a pacemaker? And I said, no. And he said, well, you need a pacemaker, man. So they got me to the hospital in Madisonville. First thing they did another EKG, and the doctor says, you need a pacemaker.
It's a heck of a way to find out.
Yeah, and he says, do you have a heart doctor? And I said, yeah, I have a heart doctor. I go regular. And then he said, well, where is that? And I said, it's in the Woodlands. And he said, well, we're sending you to the Woodlands. That was Sunday afternoon. Tuesday, I got a pacemaker. Wednesday, I went home.
Wow.
That's been 2015.
So that car saved your life multiple ways.
Yes, sir.
Just getting you to the doctor, getting to identify what your heart problems were, but also it didn't kill you when it rolled, considering that there is no structure above your head in that car.
It tore the top all up and shoved it all over me, and from the doors back, it just tore the whole back end of the car and twisted the chassis, bent all the front end under it and everything, the axle and all that.
So you guys fixed all that.
We fixed all of it.
So did you change it as you fixed it, or did you just...
The only thing I changed was I had Buick drums, regular drum brakes on the front with the thin aluminum drums, and I put disc brakes on the front. But basically, that's about all we did to it, other than repaint the car.
What color do you call that?
I have a lot of people. First, let me tell you, when I built that car, I have been saving parts for about 20 years to build that car. And I wanted everything to be magnesium on it. I had regular Halibran magnesium wheels for it and everything that were black and what have you. The quick change was black and everything. And so I wanted to go with that theme, and I wanted something that would work with those wheels. And I had seen a 39 Ford in Street Rodder magazine, and there were a couple of pictures of the car, and it said it was seagull gray. And one of the pictures was underneath a tree, and one of the pictures was the car in a parking lot. And I ordered some paint from there's an antique paint supply place in San Diego that they can mix any color of the original colors. So I called him out there and talked to him, and funny thing I'll tell you about that, he says, yes, we can mix the 39 Ford Gull Gray. He says, do you want house paint or you want PPG? And I says, well, I don't want no house paint. He said, no, I mean house labeled paint.
Well, house paint and a roller.
and he says, I said, well, what is the difference? He says, well, both of them are PPG. It's just one's going to have a house name label on the can. The other have a PPG label on the can. And I said, well, what's the difference in the price? I said, all I want is a quart. And he said, well, $79 a quart in PPG and $39 a quart in house paint. I said, well, send me the house paint.
Send me two of them, right?
So when I got it at the shop, I had my painter paint me a deal, and it looked like that concrete out there. And I said, no, that's the wrong picture. I said, take this magazine down to Brock's, where we get our paint, and have them put a little green in it to make it look like it's under this tree. And that's what it's.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's a truly custom color.
It's Brucey's green.
Yeah, and I had the car at the Roadster show in California, And before I got home, a friend of ours that's in Nebraska had already called. He flew there and it was already home. I was driving. And he said, Danny, can I have the code for that paint? I won't paint a pickup that color. So anyway, I sent him some paint that he can match. But that's
order the
Kind of like cooking. Put a little bit of green in it.
order
put
a gallon of the house paint from San Diego and then drop some green in it.
that's it. Yeah.
Great story.
But we when we build a car, normally we buy 5 gallons of paint,
Wow.
and we get it here. And
You
we
buy it in a pail.
Well, it's five gallons,
I know.
and they mix it. Then we put it in a 5-gallon can, mix it, and then we put it back in the gallon cans. And when I wrecked this car, I still had over a gallon of paint
Left.
left. to
So it comes in
repaint.
1-gallon cans,
Mhm.
and you put in a 5 to make sure everything matches.
Everything
But kind of like make sure the lot all matches,
That's
regardless of what color it is.
Right.
That's a good idea. It's a
Yeah.
great idea.
And
we
then
are-
and then the car goes back to the customer with excess paint for
Right.
future needs if they
Yeah, most people don't understand how much paint it really actually takes to paint a car.
Just like house paint.
You know, when you paint the chassis and components and that sort of stuff, it takes a lot.
Yeah, because car paint's
lot
really
of
pretty
paint.
thin. It's not like house
Yeah,
paint.
Yeah. And then that's basically base coat, clear coat. Yeah.
Well, I
on
think,
that
yeah, I
car,
think,
yeah.
you know, most everything of late is based on. I don't think you're allowed to shoot lacquer anymore, are you? Just for the
Just don't tell anybody.
environmental
Yeah,
environmental
don't tell
situation.
Don't tell anybody.
So, what kind of paint booth do you have out there at Bruce's?
It's a downdraft. I don't know what brand it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because I know, you know, some people, they go into, oh, you know, it's this one from Sweden and it does
Oh,
this
no,
and it does
no.
this and it does this. And it's just a good paint booth that sprays good color. But it takes a skilled craftsman to lay the color correctly.
I did not. It hurt my back. And then when that happened, I was really upset at myself because the tires started vibrating. Basically, when I was going down
Gave you a little
45
warning.
coming, it gave me a little warning, and I'm on the inside lane, and it's Sunday afternoon traffic, and it was pretty heavy. And I probably should have got over sooner, but I pushed in on the clutch. In the steering wheel, I didn't feel it being a tire problem. Pushed in on the clutch, and it didn't go away, and I says, well,
Uh-oh.
I need to get over. And about the time when I got over, it exploded, and I was upset with myself tearing a car that.
You didn't react fast enough as you
That's-
thought
that's
you
it,
should
yeah.
have. Yeah.
And
Well, you never can tell. I mean, you're going down the road like that. You do what you got to do, you know.
So
Bruce,
I-
we sure appreciate you stopping by and telling us your story today.
And
It's a
we
pleasure.
hear about your place all the time. I think Andy Miller is you guys do some work for Andy Miller as well. But we see the Bruce's rod shop
we've
around
been
town.
We've been in business since '81. I started in January of '81.
Where were you before that?
I had a couple of high-low auto supply stores
Okay.
that I was involved in,
Yep.
and decided that I was tired of dealing with employees.
So now you got the family
yeah, you
working
got the
for
family,
you.
yeah.
But I got the same amount of employees I had before, so that didn't change. But yeah. But I
Well, good
decided.
for you.
I told Kay, I says, you know, I had been building cars since I was 16 years old, and I told her we're going to go to the house. I had a real nice garage at the house, and I started. And then I decided, well, maybe I ought to, you know, move up in the world a little bit, and we moved to a shop on Kirkendall, to 7,400 square foot on Kirkendall.
Wow.
Nice.
And then from that, we moved to Klein Cemetery, and we got 23,000 square foot now. So,
Nice.
Real
So
nice.
where do you keep 1732s?
well, Danny keeps 3 or 4 at his house, and then we have a showroom that's got about 12 or so.
Well, cool.
I got room in my house in case
Yeah.
you got an
Yeah,
extra
yeah.
little
Bruce-
overflow.
Over in Nederland, if you need to put some all the way over there on that side of Texas, come on
Bruce's
down.
Rod Shop in Spring, Texas. Look them up. If you're looking for work done, they can do it for you.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay.
All right, we're going to move on now, and time now for Jeff's Motorhomes. I know. When I saw that, I thought, what is he on something? Then I thought, no, I think this is perfect. It's summer vacation season. But this is not just motorhomes. This is motorhomes under 10 grand, something that you can afford.
Well, would Ainsley drive one of these to the UP?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody could drive one. And it is summertime, and you're right. That's why I did the segment on this. You know, we're trying to keep everything under 10 grand for more opportunity to spend your money wisely. So that's what this is about. So how do you find a cheap motorhome? Cheap is a key word. Under 10 grand that run. That's the key thing. Finding them, you can find a used one, places like Craigslist, eBay, Facebook, Marketplace, traditional RV sales dealerships. They're good places to check out. But you need to learn a little bit more than just looking at it. You need to find out, first of all, what are you going to use it for? How often are you going to use it through the year? How many people are going to be in it? Where are you going to travel to? How much mileage you're going to put on it? Are you going cross country? Are you going to do a Texas trip? Those are some very important things that you really need to find out. Mainly the maximum amount of people. I mean, if you're empty nesters and you're retired and you can find one, because there's a lot of people that do that, you can find one fairly cheap. Now, whether you're going to have everything you need in it, that's something different. I mean, do you want all the amenities of glamping and one of the big RVs that you see on the road, the big buses? You know, you're not going to get those amenities in something that's under 10 grand, but you are going to get creature comforts. You're not going to have the dishwashers and the garbage disposals and things that have that. You're going to have just the basic setups for a KOA camp or something that you can do
with a bathroom.
With the bathroom, not necessarily. I mean, if that's something that you decide you want. You don't necessarily.
Because KOA has bathrooms,
right? But you could also have something a commode or a sink option in the motorhome itself. So those
or
are
a
things
hole in the floor.
You got to look for.
I don't know if I
now,
want a commode or sink, and it's optional. For one time it's a commode, the next time it's a sink. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Sleeping capacity. That's the main thing. That's the thing that people are drawn to these. Look at that. That's nice. And then, of course, there's 4 different classes. The Class A is the bus chassis. Those are the ones you see, like the big rock stars, the kind that I drive in when we do gigs. And then you got Class B, which is the extended van chassis, which are 15 to 20 feet. The Class A's are 21 to 45 feet. That's the Class B plus, I should say, is the extended van chassis. The Class B is just a van chassis. They're 10 to 20 feet. And then you got Class C chassis, which is the truck chassis, 20 to 35 feet. So all of that needs to be considered. And, of course, the Class A, the big monster ones down, you see the big buses, those are a little bit harder to handle. You're going to need special training, how to drive it. You're just not going to jump in it and go down the road. So those are things that you need to understand.
But you won't find a Class C under 10 grand.
A Class C is a truck chassis.
Right, but doubtful you'll find one of those under 10 grand.
You can. I mean, they're out there. There's all kinds of, with the exception of the Class A, you can find these things all over the place.
Okay.
They're not going to be in the quality certified pre-owned vehicles that we see in dealerships. Right. They're going to need work. Something's going to need replaced.
At that price,
exactly. So those are the things you need to consider. So the brands that you can look for, there's Winnebago, Coachman RV, Thor Motor Coach, Airstream, Forest River. When I worked for Joe Amato, I worked for Keystone Operations. Keystone was a big name, it still is, but it's in a different realm. There was a chassis of a motorhome, the big Class A's, called Keystone. So I go meandering into the shop, bebopping in like a dude, ready to do business, and the owner rips me up one side and down the other because of he goes, "You with Keystone?" "Yeah, I am with Keystone." He just lit into me because he thought I was with Keystone Chassis.
Oh.
They had a problem with Keystone Chassis for like a year. This thing's been up on, discussion. So, and I wasn't have to explain it to him that I wasn't, and it was all good. So, anyways, that's it.
One of my favorites of the old time, and I don't know that you can find it under 20. If you remember the GMC ones, the old fiberglass body ones from the mid 70s.
Yep.
And the first generation of those had an Oldsmobile Tornado powertrain in them. Oldsmobile 455. They were all front wheel drive.
I don't care what it really is, what brand it is, but whatever I get, I'm taking the label off of it and I'm putting on the label Thor. I want to drive a
It is a
Thor.
brand. It is a brand.
And people don't realize that Airstream did make a drivable.
Yes, they
and
did.
where would you see it if you thought that
Well,
you'd seen
yeah,
one?
you'd have to
It was-
Google and all
no,
that.
No. It was the Airstream motorhome chassis was what they drove the astronauts out to
That's
launch,
right.
Oh,
the
yeah,
launch
yeah,
site
yeah.
with.
Now they mention it. Yeah, that's
That was-
exactly
that
right.
was what they used,
Yep, yeah,
so-
and it was still the Airstream shape too.
Right, oh,
See,
yeah.
that's what things
with the
that's what I think
stainless
of.
body on it.
But being this summer and people are on vacation, yeah, the gas prices are a little high. They're fluctuating. You can still do it and enjoy a 3-day, 4-day. 4th of July's coming up. You got Labor Day. Those are all viable.
Floating down the Comal River,
Yeah,
half
in
naked.
your RV. Yeah, you can flip it
Uh-huh.
over and all that.
Depends on which half.
Just remember,
I got to go back to work.
It's gonna be called Thor.
Thor.
Hey, look, it's Don Thor Armstrong. Let's do the racing calendar.
Well, next weekend is the 100th running of the Pikes Peak International Hill
It's
Climb.
all lost all of its character when they put asphalt up.
And friend
What
of the
is that? I
show,
don't want
Richard
that.
Tomlin, is going to be an official again this year.
It needs to be
as
back
well
to
as
dirt.
fielding. Well, then it's never going back to dirt. As well as fielding a number of cars and some pretty high performance stuff as well. This weekend is Bristol Dragway, and as of Friday night, Erica was qualified 10th in Pro Stock. Antron Brown, I think, was 3rd in Top Fuel, so probably his best qualifying so far. Next weekend, NASCAR is at Nashville, and then on July 3rd, NASCAR is at Road America, which is weird because I always thought NASCAR was at Daytona for the Firecracker 400 on 4th of July weekend, but this year they're going to
It's all
they're
changed
going
up.
to Road America.
Yep.
The Canadian Grand Prix is this weekend for Formula One. The British Grand Prix is July 3rd, and then the Austrian Grand Prix is July 10th. IMSA's at Watkins Glen next weekend, and then Canadian Tire Motorsport Park on the 3rd. IndyCar is also on the 3rd of July at Mid-Ohio. And then Gulf Coast Racing Series season opener here in Houston is July 2nd, that Saturday night, and they are going to have a Spec Miata race on the oval track with a $5,000 purse.
Nice.
I think a lot of these guys bought their Spec Miatas for about $5,000. So that's a significant amount of money for those guys.
Hey, it's going to be fun.
So that's this week in racing.
Thank you, sir. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on the iHeart app, Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com when it all works. Podcasts are available on your favorite podcast channel. In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break. Get out the permanent marker and write on your wall calendar the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Saturday, September 17th, 2022. It's the fall edition of Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Lupe's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rod, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Lupe Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Lupe trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Lupe Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's Tailpipes and Tacos Fall Edition, Saturday, September 17th. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the beginning of fall and the return of the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Saturday morning, September 17th, 8 to 11 a.m. We'll see you then, weather permitting.